Thank you. Okay. Thank you so much for reminding me.
You're welcome.
Aya, your hand is up. Let me finish answering this question. I'll get to you, okay?
Okay, no problem.
So the 26 is the entire gross weight of the truck, okay? So it is assumed that when you weigh that is the entire gross weight. When there is a load on this box truck, it shouldn't exceed this particular load right here. So assuming that the entire gross weight of this truck is 13,000. When you take 13,000 out of 26,000, you are left with 13,000. But this box truck cannot take up to 13,000. It will be so heavy, especially when they have to go on mountainous area or hilly roads. So the maximum they can take will be about 10,000 loads. But then there are lots of loads that are 43,000, 22,000, 28,000, 45,000. And those loads are mostly for the 53-footer truck. This is what we call the power only. It is just the head. So they go and hook it to trailers and they move it from destination to destination. So when we talk about, this is the 53-footer foot. So this particular truck can take up to 40,000, 44,000, 48,000. And sometimes, it is not the weight that they are looking at, is the length of the goods. Sometimes you are picking up long metals or long planks of wood that they need to transport to the manufacturing site. So sometimes those loads will not be a good one for box truck. So if they have a very low loads like 3,000 loads, 4,000 up to 8,000, 9,000, 10,000, and then it's a good load for a box truck. So you don't want to limit yourself to one particular truck. You want to open up yourself. But like this, for instance, this particular one, what we call the reefer trucks, the temperature controlled trucks, they charge higher because as much as they are using fuel to run, they are also using fuel to operate this one. So if a load that is being posted for $5 per mile for the 53-footer truck, you can post for $9 per mile for the reefer truck because they spend more and they have to maintain and regulate the temperature in the truck so that whatever goods they are transporting stays within the temperature allocation that is good for that particular truck. And mostly those trucks are used to transport like frozen foods, fresh fruits, or hazardous material that needs to maintain a certain temperature to avoid being combustible. So you want to open yourself. So you do all these things, all of them together.
Okay.
Yeah. So Aya, please.
It's okay, Sandra. I just wanted to ask, the first link you sent yesterday, was it the link, the steps on how to create the LLC? But I discovered that was it, right?
Yeah, the link here to the Taylor Brands, yes.
Okay.
That is the website you go to when you have generated your name and you have a name that is available that you can use. When you go to Taylor Brands and you follow, you want to set up an LLC, there's a guideline on how you can do it. You register that particular name that you choose that was available. Then it takes about a week or 2 weeks for you to get your certificates of registration.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the certificate of registration, where you get it from those people, is it the certificate that you take it to maybe your state to register the LLC?
No, you are registering this LLC from the state that you are coming from. So it's going to be under the state where you are, Texas. So you don't take it anywhere. When you register with Taylor Brands, you've registered. That's it.
Okay.
But Mark, we want to say something before.
So the way Taylor Brand is set up, if you want to use them, they want you to have two names. Your first, your priority name and the second name, so that in case the first name has been taken, then you have a second option. So that is the way their system is set up. even though you have checked and the first name is not taken, you cannot do with Telebrand system with just one name. You have to have a second name, just that you know.
Even some always will even ask you for a third name. Yeah.
Okay.
When I was registering mine, the tax office that did mine, they asked me to bring 3 names. So that was what I did. There was the KBF was the first one, but luckily for me, it went through. Luckily for me, it did go through for me. So sometimes the first name might not go through because somebody has already registered under that name. It may surprise you, like the name that you chose, somebody has the exact name registered. And sometimes they want to try the second one. If it doesn't happen, then they want to try the third one. And mostly, it can't be that all the names that you create, all 3 of them have been taken. But most likely one of them will not work for you so that you have a backup. Yes. Yeah, better. Your hand is raised up.
Sandra, I want to ask about this box truck.
Mm-hmm.
There's another truck that they say flatbed
Yeah.
that just have only the head and the trailer behind, as they say, flatbed truck without this box.
Mm-hmm.
Those one carry the same luggage load like this box truck, or their own load are different from box truck.
So flatbeds are really, really expensive even to carry a load. No, the flatbed is like they have the trailer, the open flat trailer without any container covering it.
Yeah.
Open flat one. That's why we call it the flatbed. You see, like example, when you see all those 53-feeder trucks with trailer that conveys cars from one location to another.
Mm-hmm.
The flatbeds that they can use. And sometimes you see that you have this big machine that is on a very particular trailer and it has been hooked with belts to support it from moving. Those they don't have a container covering like this do.
Like this box truck.
These are just plain. They don't have a container like this. It will just be like open, like just this part without a container on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the one is very, very, I mean, they do charge a lot. They do charge a lot because when you go to get the load, you make sure that you strap it. The strapping is you, the driver. You make sure that that freight is really covered. I mean, it's really, 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 really secured. Because under your certificate of insurance, I mean, until you deliver that load, you are solely responsible for anything that will happen to that load. Okay. So because it's an open, you want to make sure that you have your tarpaulins. When I say tarpaulins, like when you perceive that the weather is going, I mean, it's going to rain, you have to have those things secured on that. You have to cover it really good so that if water is not supposed to get in, it's your duty to make sure that so there's a lot that you, the driver, you have to do to secure those loads. And they charge. Their charges are really, really, really high. They really do charge a lot. They really charge a
So,
lot.
but this one with the box is preferable than that flatbed.
I mean, it depends. I mean, we have different kinds of good that needs to be moved. If a company that is solely a manufacturing company wants to install a plant, they can use this. They want to transport a kind of an engine that is very huge, like electrical plant, something. They definitely cannot use this. It will not even fit. What is the dock side and what is the width of your container to even take a whole big machine? That one will not fit. So you realize that they will go for the flatbed that can really accommodate because of that open space. We make use of the open space around it. It's not a contained space, it's an open space that can accommodate the size, the weight, and even the height of those goods that needs to be transported. So the various goods depends on what truck is visible for it. And sometimes even when you go on the load board, Every detailed description of the load is there. The broker
Yeah.
will tell you what kind of truck is good for his load. You are not the one going to tell him that I have this load. They will state box truck load, 53-footer van load, flatbed, whatever it is. They will state what kind of truck they need to pick up their load. And that is what guides us to know exactly what we are looking for. And sometimes to the load itself helps you to know what kind of truck is this you need. And you make the call to the broker. When you see a load on the load board, you want to also really confirm with the broker that, hey, I saw that you posted that this load is for this. Are you sure it is for a bus truck? Because there are times where we have seen a load. I have experienced it with my drivers so much that there are loads that they will say it's for a box truck. They go to the pickup side and the load will not fit into a box truck. And that is a waste of our time, the waste of the driver's time, and they won't even pay you the rate confirmation since you didn't get it. They only give you that delay fee of just about $200 or $250. But that is not right. So anytime I want to book a load for anyone, I want to make sure I read the dimensions of the load to the broker. He confirms that, and I also confirm this is for a bus truck, right? Or this is for a 53-footer, right? Or this is load. So we just want to confirm, even though the informations are there, but you also want to confirm again, just to make sure that, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you, Sandra. Yeah. Thank you so much, Bush.
You're welcome. Any other questions before we move on?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. For setting up your LLC, do you necessarily have to go through Taylor Brands, or you can go directly to the Secretary of State of your respective state you're in?
You can do it yourself. You can just
Okay.
go directly there.
Okay. Okay.
You can. Not necessarily that, but if you want to use Taylor Branch, you can. But if you can go to your state, online and apply directly, that is also available. When I wanted to do, I didn't know anything like there's anything I can do by myself. So it was my tax preparer that charged me that $300.
Right. Right. Yeah, because I did that. I got it for free through my state. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also when you go straight there, it is for free actually.
Right.
But the branch will charge you.
Right.
To set up what?
Your
didn't get the
company, your LLC.
You go directly to the company or you go directly to your state?
Pastor Emmanuel, said directly to your state website,
Yeah,
right?
Secretary of State. Yeah, Secretary of State of your
Secretary of
particular. Yeah, Secretary of State, North Carolina, Secretary of State, Texas, wherever you are, you just do that, and you should be able to. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So when going there, you need to, come up with your name first.
Yeah, of course, you have to have the name that you would like to use. Like they suggested 2 or 3, because you never know if the name is taken. Because I had a name in mind, and surprisingly, the name somebody had picked, I was like, whoa, I didn't even think it. Yeah. So and you have to put in your credit card payment information. It's legit. Yeah, because they have to charge upfront when you're done. So yeah, it's very secure. You put your information on there, and then you go through the steps, and then they send you whatever information you need.
And when you get that registered, it comes with your EIN number. You don't have to go and apply separately for that. It will come with your EIN number.
When you open the company, when you apply for the company?
Yeah, it comes with your EIN number for your tax filings. Yeah.
Do they pay for that?
No. You don't pay for EIN. It's automatically generated when you register your company. And it's that EIN is associated to that company when it's time for you to file your taxes.
Yeah, I think so for the letter of incorporation, I think it's $300, across the nation. But then if you're doing it through Taylor Brown, like Coach Sandra said, it's that proprietary $300 plus whatever service fee that Telebrand is going to charge you because they are doing it for you. But when you do it yourself, you don't pay that service fee. You only pay that fee for the letter of incorporation.
Yeah.
There's
Now,
somebody
does
in
the
here
fee
that-
varies with the state, Pastor Emmanuel, or is unique?
I believe it's $300 flat across the nation.
To register for the LLC?
Yes, to get the letter of incorporation. Yes.
So what is the letter of incorporation like? Is it a confirmation that
Yeah, pretty much for the state to recognize that you are an LLC and a legit business. Once you put in everything, they will check and then make sure that of course, there's a little background check that they do, and then once it gets approved, they will send you the letter of incorporation recognizing you as a company in the state that can do business.
okay,
Mhm.
thank you.
Yeah, you-
So the first thing we have to start with to get the name of the company, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, come with your name and
Register.
then you put it
Then
in
you,
there
you
and then
register it.
yeah. So you go through the process and then if the name is taken, actually, there's a spot where you check if the name is available first. Yeah, because you don't want any lawsuit against you, so you want to make sure that you don't take somebody's or existing name. You check if it's available before. Yeah, so
And
that's why
how do you check, please?
there's a spot in there where you can check
Okay.
when you go to your state.
Pastor
Yesterday,
Emmanuel,
I
you know
even
all those
sent you,
things.
a link where you can just, your business name generator, you can just go there and run it through and see if those names are available. If it's available, it should tell you it's available. If it's not, it tell you that it's not available. It's been taken.
Right.
No problem. We'll get there. We'll get to the road. We'll know how to cross the bridge.
Yes. And it's not anything complicated at all. You just go and you put your name and see if it is available. If it is, you run all the other 3 names that you think you wanna try and see if any of those are available. Then you choose the one that you wanna use to register. Then you go ahead and you register. Because I know when one of my friends did the registration, is it in Indiana? Yeah, I think she spent just about, was it like $100 or something for the registration from her state?
Mm.
So I think it's peculiar to every state though. I'm not sure about that one because I paid $300 to my tax preparer and it was for his service charge and for the registration for me. So probably I don't know, it's been like a whole year since then. Things may have changed or it may be the same. So you go by your state and run it through and see how much it's going to be. Then you take it from there.
Our land in Maryland here is 400.
It's what, 400?
100.
100, oh, okay. Alrighty, do you have any other questions so that I can move on to today's lesson? Okay, so with no more questions being asked, what makes a good dispatcher? Okay, we know that a dispatcher is what the stand between the broker and the carrier. We get the loads from the broker for our carriers, and our carriers pays us a percentage of the money that we have been able to make for them. And so, being a good dispatcher, you really want to be organized because you deal with a lot of paperwork. And there's that easy tendency of you mixing up your your driver's company's information. Because if you have your papers mixed up and you're actually looking for a load for driver A, and you have driver A paperwork in front of you, you have driver B papers in front of you, and you mistakenly pick one instead of this one, and you are finding a load with somebody MC's number, it's a red flag. A red flag, you don't want to do that. So if you really are working for drivers A, you really want to have his information right in front of you. What I have done that has helped me is that I keep hard copies of my driver's information in a file and I store it in a drawer. But then if I have their information, also I've created a desktop file for each and every one of my companies and the drivers that I'm working with. So if I'm working for, let's say, driver A, I just open up his information, get his files ready in front of me. Normally I work with multiple, about 2 laptops, and I have an extended one that I do an extended screen on. So if I'm working for customer A and customer B, I have their files right in front of me on my laptop. So if I'm working and if I have to set up a new career packet with companies, probably it's a new company, we have never worked with them before. So we want to set up a career packet with them and go into an agreement with them. They will need his signed W-2, they will W-9, sorry, his signed W-9. They will need his certificate of insurance. They will need his MC authority letter. That is telling them the DOT has approved him to be working and his MC is active. They want a signed letter from your factoring. The factoring company, the ACS factoring company, simply means that, when you work with a broker, we will get that. You work with a broker, they have a stipulated number of days that they will pay you the driver. So sometimes you go on the load board and some of them have 28 days to payment, 21 days to payment, others do 16 days, 19 days, 18 days. No driver want to wait that long for them to pay. So the factoring companies now too are standing between the driver and the brokerage company for payment. Okay, so they will buy your bill of lading, your rate confirmation that, hey, this amount of money that this rate confirmation that the money that you need to be paid by the broker is 2,500. Okay, we will buy that. You give it to us. We will pay you the money for 3%. Then we will wait for that 21 days for for the brokerage to pay us. And that is what we call the factoring company. They will factor your load for you. And sometimes they pay just the next day. If you deliver a load today, you forward all the documents to them. Latest by the next day, your money is in your account, but at a 3% charge. So if it is 2,500, they are taking 3% of it. If it is $1,800, they are taking 3% of it. If it is $4,000, they are taking 3% of it, so that you can get your money the next day, because the drivers, they need their money because they need to buy fuel to continue working. So if they can't wait for 21 days before they pay. So the factoring company does that. And all this information, when you are setting up a carrier packet, the brokerage will ask for that, so that when you set up the payment option, you will do that. So you want to be organized, and also you want to be focused. You don't want to be distracted at any time. That is one thing I'm being challenged with. All of you see my son. Focus I don't have, but I try to make it work, because every broker that I have spoken with knows my son Josiah. Sometimes I call them and they're, hey, how's the main man doing? So everybody knows, but the distractions, you really do not want to be distracted, because especially when you are multitasking. When you go to the load board, we have different kinds of services that you can use. We have one that we call the DAT Power. Okay, that one is $180. I was using that, but it got to a point I realized it was a waste of money, so I changed that. With that, you can look for multiple loads for different drivers just at a sitting. You have driver A's information, you have driver's B information, and you are looking for loads simultaneously. And at the same time, when you have found a load for one of your driver, you are on the phone talking. You are still on the computer looking for other loads for driver B, and that is multitasking. You are putting together their paperwork at the same time. You are negotiating. So multitasking, you want to pay attention to detail. That is where organization. So you see that all these here, being organized, focused, paying attention, multitasking, it's like quadruplet. They will go hand in hand. You can't say I'm doing multitasking, so all your papers are mixed. You don't know which one is for this. You are so confused and everything. You will make the greatest mistake, and you can put somebody's livelihood in danger. And there is this one of my drivers that I made a mistake. I mean, I have made all those mistakes for you guys so that you don't make the mistake I have made, because I have made them so I can tell you so that you don't make those. And that is what this is all about. I can't remember. I was looking for a particular load for one of my drivers with a different the name was Songai with his MC number, and I mistakenly put in a different driver's MC number. And anytime they want to give a load to a particular driver, even though you have called them, you have given them the rate confirmation and everything, they will still make a call to the driver direct to make sure that, hey, this is your company, KBF Consult, right? Your dispatcher is looking this low for you. Are you aware? They want that confirmation. So they called this driver and said, I'm not aware of any law. Where is it going for? No, my dispatcher has not spoken to me and anything. So the broker called me and said, your driver denied this. So I was like, no. He said, isn't the MC number? I said, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I was looking for this. And the other driver, like, was so mad. Like, am I trying to use this MC number to pick a load for someone that I was like, this is an honest mistake. So now the company that I'm talking about is Landstar. So now anytime I find a load for that particular driver, if the driver does not give his consent to Landstar, that load will not go anywhere. Even if I have found a load for him and it happens to, at the time they were calling him, it happens not to be close to his phone and he doesn't pick up, they will never award us that load until they have a confirmation. And that has transitioned for any other person that I am picking a load for in Landstar. So now that one honest mistake put my credibility with Landstar on the line. You understand what I mean? Because they think that I do the what other people are doing, but hey, that was not what I was doing at all. It was an honest, simple, forgivable mistake, but these people are holding on to it like their life depends on that particular mistake. So now it has transcended to every driver that I'm looking for a load for Landstar. They really want to confirm with any driver that I'm picking a load from Landstar. But before then, until that incident happened, if I say, hey, I have I will even send them a copy of my power of attorney that I have the right to pick a load on their behalf, and then they will award me the load. But now I'm not getting that privilege anymore. They have to confirm and everything. So sometimes if my driver is not on point to receive their call, we've been losing loads from them a lot. And that is something that you guys do not want to make. You want to be organized, you want to pay attention to detail. If you're looking for a load for a particular company, make sure you have their MC number, you have all the information right in front of you. And that is why I don't shuffle papers anymore. If I am dealing with any driver, I'm going straight to my laptop, opening their file. Forwarding all the information right there and there. If I'm looking for a load, sometimes I don't even want to manually put in their MC number again. I will just copy and go and paste so that I know that I'm doing exactly what I have to. I have learned so the hard way. And also you want to be very, very adaptable. Adaptability in the sense that I start work at 9. The reason why I start work is that my husband is a truck driver himself, so he's always not at home. So I have to prepare my kid and send him to school. So but it's a long drive. So I get home by 8:30, get Josiah ready, and I start at 9. But nevertheless, if I have a driver that I'm offloaded the day before and it's an emergency and they need immediate loads to get out, sometimes I start as early as 5:30, 6 a.m., 6:30, just to make sure I can find him load as soon as possible due to their circumstance. You don't want to say, hey, because I start at 9, hey, whether you call me, I won't pick up. No, I don't do that. I pick up all my driver's call, even if it is 11 p.m., even if it is 2 a.m. I want to find out what is happening, what is wrong, are you okay? Sometimes, I mean, you may never know what has happened. Sometimes it might not even be about so anything, but you really want to be there. You want to be a people person because they are human beings that you are dealing with. They have needs. Sometimes they just want to listen to you share just a word of God, letting them know that God got their back and you are also there for them. So you want to be adaptable with your time, be flexible, and also have high level of confidence. You don't want to appear to your drivers that you don't even believe in yourself and the thing that you are doing. There are people that drivers that came to me that have new MC numbers. When you have new MC number, my goodness, it is hard to find loads. No broker have any confidence in you. But sometimes I vouch for my people. I vouch for the driver that I say, hey, this driver has I mean, it's not his first time driving. It's not his first time being a truck driver. He has 20 years of experience. He has 20 years with Pam. He has 20 years with Taylor Swift. He has 20 years of driving experience. It's just that they just started their own company and they want to prove, let them send proof of where they were, their pay stub and everything. I send it to broker just to prove that, hey, they can really deliver. I'm speaking for them and I know what I'm talking about. You want to let them know that you have that confidence in your driver. So if they should give your driver any load, you won't fail them. And some of them, I mean, TQL is one of the companies that will give any new owner operator a chance. So when they do, you really want to stay on top of that game and make sure that there's communication going on. And when I say communication, superior communication, for me, I do a three-way communication with my driver, my broker, and my company. That is me, myself. When they pick when we agree, they give us the rate confirmation, they assign that load to my driver. The moment my driver moves from his point to go to the place of pickup, I inform the broker, hey, it's 9:30 a.m. Driver has moved, he's en route to the pickup location. I'll update you when he gets there. And make sure, oh, thank you for letting me know. I appreciate it. Yeah, so when about 1 hour, 2 hours into his drive time, I call him, hey, hi, hey, Kay, what is happening? Are you almost there? How many minutes before you get there? Oh, I'm about 20 minutes there. Oh, okay, I'll update the broker. Okay, so you're about 20 minutes there to the pickup location. Just be on the lookout for us. If we have anything that you need clarification on, I'll reach back to you. And they really do appreciate that little updates that I give so much, because I try to transition what I've learned in agility into my workforce. So I want to have that transparency going on. If I call my driver and he says, hey, I'm almost there, but I am stuck in traffic, I don't think I will be there at 10 a.m. like agreed on. Do you want to talk to the broker? And I'll just say, hey, send the broker an information. Let him know that this is what is happening, and I will just reiterate that to the broker. So I'll just call him. Have you sent a text or a message to the broker? Oh, yes, I just spoke to him. Then I will, like 15 minutes later, I'll call the broker and say, hey, has George gotten back to you? Oh, yes, he did. He says in traffic. Yeah, he is in traffic. But hey, don't worry. Can you call the pickup location to let them know if it's by appointment? Can they change the appointment from 10 a.m. to probably to 11:15 or 11:30, so that we can have enough room to get there? Oh yeah, we can do that. Yeah, then So that communications, they know that we are serious about them. We care about the load, not just the money, but the load that we're also going to pick up. We care about it, and we care about being punctual and on time. And also, you really want to be empathetic and very compassionate, both to the driver and also both to the broker. Okay, because the broker's also credibility is on the line if you and your driver fail to deliver, because they also get the goods that they need to be hauled from a shipping company. So they also want to maintain their relationship there. So you really want to also understand where they are coming from, because sometimes some delays that happen that are beyond your driver's control, but still these brokers will get mad as if you have anything that you could have done. There was one time that my husband was agreed to pick a load from Texas, Laredo. On his way, there was this thunderstorm, my goodness, that was coming. He was like, hey, I wouldn't risk my life for how much amount of money, even though I need this money, but I would not go. And I was the one that found that load for him. So when he reached out to me, I reached out to the broker. The broker said, this is a high priority load. We need to get this. I said, my goodness, are you saying that this driver should risk his life to go pick up a load for how much amount of money? Please be understanding and be respectful for human life. When I said that, he stood on the phone for a long time and said, okay, fine. What you're saying makes sense. So he really went back, checked the weather and what was happening there. Then he got back to me and said, okay, the thunderstorm at that place is just unbearable. So please let him stay and he can continue the next day. And that is, the way he came out at me, I had to put myself in his shoes, knowing that that was a high priority load. He can lose face, but then weather increment is nothing that is, we can control it. So even though his voice was raised, his temper was high, he felt some way, there was nothing. I had to understand and be compassionate, but I also have to have that soothing and comforting voice to let him see reason that no amount of money, no credibility with any human being, any company, surpasses the life of a person, no matter what. So I will stand in for my driver. I will protect my driver, but I will understand you where you are coming from. So I will not match your anger with my anger. No, I will not be angry with you. No matter what you are saying to me, no matter how, excuse me to say, they like using this word, shit a lot. It doesn't mean anything to me. I hear it, I discard it. It's not on my body. It's not in my purse. It's not in my bank account. So I don't really care about that one. You can say it 100 times, I will still receive it and be smiling on the phone with you, because you are the one saying it and I'm just hearing it. What you hear, if you allow it to have an impact in your life, it will have an impact in your life. But when you hear it and you decide to discard it, you have discarded it. It doesn't mean anything to you. What you do with what you hear is your own choice. And I choose not to make it anything like better we say be happy all the time and move on. So you really want to be and compassionate, put yourself in your driver's shoes, put yourself in the broker's shoes. Because at the end of the day, when you give that quality service, you make money. And that is why you are here. That is why you are working to make money. As much as you are making the money, money is not your first option. Human beings are your first option. Okay, so you also want to be exceptionally emotional and have self-control. Exceptionally emotional in the sense that, hey, you don't really even want to be emotional and be so emotional with what a broker said to you, or what your driver in anger said to you. There are times that my drivers, I have a good rapport with them, okay, but then there are times that I have brought them into correction as well, but I've used wisdom. There are so many things that have happened that I don't address that same day. No matter how some way I felt about it, I still smile, I still go about my work, and there are times they know me too well that I become cold on the phone. Immediately they misbehave, my demeanor changes. I become cold. I answer their questions in a polite way. And sometimes they're just like, hey, Sandra, are you mad at what I said? I was just like, hey, you don't do that. You don't say that no matter what. If any words will come out of your mouth, just wait and see how it will affect the person. It was a mistake, especially with that mistake with the MC number. It was a mistake. I would never do that to you. I would never put your livelihood in danger. What will I gain? How much money is worth what you are building, your legacy. So then you have to really separate emotions a lot and have great self-control that comes from a place of mind, your stronger mindset. You build a stronghold in your mind that, hey, I will be self-organized, I will be self-aware, and I will let my emotional intelligence work for me and work best for me. Okay, so dispatchers constantly coordinate schedules, manage routes, handle various calls, and make knowledgeable, confident decisions. Your carriers, they trust you so much to get them the load. And what I have done in these areas, any carrier that signs up with KBF Consult Logistics, that makes me their dispatcher. It's not for me to do. I only have to ask you, hey, what is your cost per mile? How much will it cost you to move your truck? Okay. But then I go the extra mile to understand what they are really looking for. And I understand the routes that they want to go. Most drivers don't want to go to Connecticut. They don't want to go to Maine, North Dakota, Minnesota, like all those places that snows like no man's business there. They don't want to go because people don't know how to, especially if you're from North Carolina, you may not know how to handle so much snow and even drive and be safe. You don't want to do that. So you really want to understand them so that when you are scheduling any load for them, you know that, hey, my drivers like going to Florida, they like going to Tennessee, they like going to Atlanta, Georgia, they like going to Texas, they like going to Mississippi, those kind of route going to Texas. And that is on way. So you would know so that when you are booking loads for them, you can do all those things very well. And sometimes that you handle various calls. Handling various calls is that you have brokers that are calling you. When you have built that relationship with brokers and with your drivers, sometimes brokers call you loads that they have not even posted on the load board. They are calling you to see if you have drivers that can handle those loads. And those loads, when they come to you, hey, they pay good because they didn't post it on the load board. So they just want to, hey, I can give you 2,800 for just about 900 miles or just for about 1,000 miles. But if they post it on the load board, you see that it will be posted for 1,800. So sometimes you want to handle various calls and you also want to make calls out to your brokers as well. Sometimes you want to reach out to them and see if they have any load in this state, depending where you think your drivers are. And sometimes if you are not seeing any good load on the board, you want to reach out personally to different brokerages and see if they have any loads that they have. So that is one thing about calls, and you want to check the route and see what the temperature, the weather conditions are, so that you can tell your driver even before they accept the load that, hey, they said it's gonna rain, it's gonna snow, it's gonna do this, it's gonna do that, so they can make informed decisions about it. And also when you are talking, excellent verbal, written, and empathetic listening skills are vital for understanding and efficiently meeting the needs. Okay, sometimes you have a driver that will come to you and they just took out this loan to go buy a new truck. And probably instead of setting up a 5-year payment terms with the the person and the organization that is financing the car, they want to do a 1-year financing payment option. And when they do that, they are paying a whole lot. So they have so much needs on them. So you want to listen to them and understand them and say, hey, this is my bills that I have to pay. I have to pay insurance and that. So my insurance bill, and even the payment track money is costing me almost $4,000 a month, but I have to make more. So you want to talk to them and understand them. And you also, at this point, you really want to be honest with them. That is depend. You can't have a boss track and you tell me you want to make 6,000, 7,000 a week. That is unreasonable, or very, very unreasonable. Okay. The highest I have ever made for any box truck driver is 5,500 a week. And sometimes it depends on even the load board, how good it was. Sometimes you just pick one load from North Carolina to Texas and you are being paid 2,500. When you get to Texas and you get one that is going to Atlanta for 1,900, you've made the person the $4,000 per week. And sometimes they go to Florida and we can't even find a load for them to get out of Florida. Florida is a terrible state. When you are getting in, they pay good. But when you are coming out, the rate is flat. $100 per mile. I mean, $1 per mile, whether you like it or not. So if the load is 500 miles, they are paying you $500, which doesn't make sense. But then if you don't take it, you're going to stay there for the longest possible time and waste your time. So you really want to understand their needs and listen to them, be empathetic, share be part of their story. Know that, hey, I know, and it's not easy, but we'll get there. We can't do much, but God is the one that opened doors, so we let them know. And hey, mind you, and my drivers, they know I am a Christian. They know I believe in God. They know I believe in Jesus Christ. Even though I have one person that is from Sudan and Somalia, they don't believe in God and everything. But hey, they don't joke when I say things from my Bible because they know I hold my God in higher esteem. And he's the one that has been helping me help them. So they must respect him, whether you are a Muslim or Hindu. I don't give a damn about that. You respect the God that I serve, because he's helping me to help you. So we have that understanding. And I also respect their religion. I don't make joke or fun of their religion. If there is something that is happening in their religion and for that week they will not work, I show interest. I want to understand what they do, what it's about, what is the festive season, and it helps a lot. So there's that mutual respect between them and myself, even when it comes to our various beliefs. So with that being said, dispatchers must handle stress. You do not want to carry your stress and bring it to work, because that work itself is stressful. There are times all your drivers are on standby, but you can't find loads for any of them. You're already stressed as it is. So you don't want to carry your own private stress and come in them. Because sometimes you pick this call before you finish talking to this one is also calling, hey, have you found any load yet? Oh, you have no phone, and that S word will be coming out. Oh my God. Stay calm. By the end of the day, the God that gives to everyone, yours will come if it's in there. Whatever happens, you find load. It may not be the good load, but I think they get to move. And that is what it is. So you must really remain calm and be quick. And also, the way I'm saying be quick is that you are not the only dispatcher out there. Even look at we here. I am a dispatcher. Everyone here wants to be a dispatcher. So when we are on the field, we are competing against each other, whether we like it or not. We are competing against each other. So if I find a load, I have to be quick about it. I don't have to be slow. The broker, you reach out. Sometimes the brokers don't even have a telephone number that they put there. They want you to talk to them by mail. So you always want to be quick on your mails, on your phone calls. So if a broker sends you a request, you emailed him, hey, I saw this load with the details and everything. We are available. Then he replies to you 5 minutes later, and he has taken you 30 minutes to respond. That load is not available for you anymore. Somebody has called and gotten it. So you always want to be constantly checking your mail. That's what I said. For me, you can do this with your phone, you can do this on your laptop, but you must always be checking your mails. The mail that you are using for your company, you must be checking it frequently. So what I do is that I have a notification set on my phone. So even on my laptop, any mail that comes quickly, then I know that somebody has responded to any email or anything. I quickly open it, I check it. If there's a response, I have to, then you want to do that. So you want to be quick, you want to be adaptable, you want to make decisions that are favorable to your drivers, and at the same time you want to also make room for unplanned situations. Unplanned situations like, hey, there are so many times that I have to really pause everything that I am doing to go attend to my father. He's 74 years old. There are times I have to go pick him and take him to the hospital, or I have to go get something for him when he calls me that he needs it. And these are things that I don't plan for because they were not part of my day. But if my father needs my help, my drivers also need my help, I will have to communicate with them that, hey, today I may not be available. So the other dispatchers that are working for you, can you contact them and let them know that you may want to get loads from them? I also have one particular dispatcher that I work so close with. His name is Kai. So those days that I won't be available, if I have to take my case to the hospital or anything like that, he works and steps in for me. So you always want to coordinate with other people in the industry that you can depend on. So far, does anybody have any questions before we move on? Any questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Go ahead.
So far, what really motivates you each day to move on with this dispatcher business?
For me, I love helping people. I love working with people. I want to be there for people as much as possible. Hey, but what motivates me is also need money. I also have to make money. My family must survive.
And then you are in the house to your comfort zone.
Yeah. Even though, yeah, every day it's about, and also sometimes what motivates you is the vision you have for your life, your vision, your story that you want to write, the legacy you want to leave behind, the impact you want to make. What motivates you to even get up to do anything? For me, my motivation has always been Christ, number one, my family, number two, and then my community, number three. The reason why I'm saying Christ is that I believe so much in Jesus Christ and everything he did. And he says, love your neighbor as yourself. I want to be in the position whereby when you ask me something, I should be able to help you. I don't want a situation whereby you really thought of me to be the one to be in a position to help you. I should be able to help you. I should be able to put myself in that category where I can emulate some of the things Christ do. I'm not saying I can't do it all. It's not every day at times in my life that I don't have anything to help anybody with, but not financially, but emotionally, I will be there for you. Psychologically, if I have to hold your hand or even hug you, I want to be there for you, irrespective. Then also for my children, like yesterday, I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth, okay? And I have gone through the suffering for my children. So as a good parent or as a good anybody at all, you don't want to see your children suffering because you suffered. Then what will be the essence of it? What will be the point of it? You have gone through that suffering enough. I have been homeless before back home, where they threw my auntie that I was staying out, they threw her out. We were sleeping on the street because you couldn't afford to rent a house. I don't want that to be repeated in my children's life. I have gone through that suffering enough. There are times I have gone hungry without food. There are times I have been hopeless without even, I never even thought that I would even find myself in the United States. And I didn't even imagine myself like that. Looking from where I was, the things I have gone through, the suffering, even with my own immediate family. I mean, you can never imagine. So that is something that I don't want for my kids. So my kids, I always strive to make sure that they don't have to start life with a junk of debt upon their shoulders because they wanted to go to college and they had to go doing that with loans. no loans. I want, if they don't get a scholarship, I'm praying they get to go through college for free. Then I want to be in a position to pay their college fees and not have them start life by paying the government with interest that never goes anywhere for 30 years, 40 years of their life. I don't want that for them. The struggles I have gone through in life, I don't want any of my children to go through. So I push myself every day with their pictures right in front of me. Their pictures right in front of me. There isn't a single day that I don't have Joshua's picture or Josiah's picture in front of me. Even on my laptop, their pictures are always staring back at me. So that it becomes my motivation to continue to push and push and push. And also the society that we live in, we want to make the society better. Like Mama Sabella shared with me, and I have been thinking about 800 students. Can you do that if you don't have it? You cannot. You can only talk about it, but you cannot act about it. But we want to take action. We want to make our action impactful. So you want to be in a position whereby you can have that leverage to help. And that it will not come by you begging people. Sometimes God has to see you putting in the effort, then He catapults you and brings it down on you. There's one scripture that I always use for something I'm about myself. It was Elijah himself that declared that there will be no rain for 3 years. What did he do? He suffered in that drought. He went hungry. At a point in time, he wanted God to kill him. But when the time came, what did he do? He went on to Mount Carmel. He just didn't go there and sit there for nothing. He put in the work. He prayed the sevenfold of prayer until he could see the hand of a man like a cloud. And Bible says that he said, tell Ahab to run and go. Ahab was riding chariots of horses. I mean, how many horses at one particular chariot? But then the power of acceleration came upon Elijah and overran the chariots of Ahab. But there was work that he put in. So you can't just hope to do that there was going to be rain and you just say, hey, God, there will be rain and rain will fall. God does not work like that. He wants to see your involvement. He wants to see you getting up and trying to do something. It might not be easy. It wasn't easy for Elijah. 7 folds of prayer. Bible didn't even tell us how many hours he prayed for one fold. Probably he prayed for 4 5 hours. Nothing happened. Then he checked. Another 4 5 hours. Nothing happened. Then he checked. But God didn't tell us the hours. But it's not like 2 hours, 1 hour he prayed or 15 minutes. He prayed, he traveled, he persevered, knowing that he has said rain must fall, so rain must fall. Didn't God hear him when he made that declaration? God heard him. But then he needed to put in the work. So you must put in the work to be able to help other people. And that is what motivates me. I don't want to sit down and think and have my plan on paper and not execute it. It will not happen. I have to do something. And this is what I'm doing. So that I can have the means be
Recording in progress.
yeah. So I mean, I hope that answers the question.
Yes.
All right. Does anybody have any other questions for me before we go on?
Yes, I do. How many times a week or how many days do you work?
As for that one, that one is relative to anybody, but for me, there are times that I have worked 5 days in a week. There are days that I have worked 1 day in a week.
Okay.
There are days that I have worked 2 or 3 days in a week, depending on the situation or depending on what I have going on for me. But the ideal is that if you can work the 5 days, you can work. But let me say sometimes, like let's assume Mondays are my busiest days, okay? Because Mondays, most of my drivers are offloaded during the weekend, okay? So Mondays I might have about 3 or 4 drivers that are empty that needs to find a load. So I will find those loads for them. There are times that all my drivers are empty that I have to find loads for all of them. So when I have found loads for all of them, it depends on the load that I found. If by God's grace, God shines his face for me to want to give me my Tuesdays off, which normally I always normally get, then I can find loads that they are all offloaded either Wednesday or Thursday, depending on the distance they are driving. So if they are all going to offload on a Wednesday, then that Tuesday I'm not working. If I don't have any driver standby that needs a load that Tuesday to deliver on that Wednesday, then it means I'm not working on Tuesday. The reason I don't want to work on Tuesday is that I don't want to go on Tuesday, the load board, and find a load for a driver that will be offloading on Wednesday when I'm not sure what the conditions of that day would be. So if normally I'll start finding load in the morning if they have a drop off like around 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. or even 12 noon, I'll just start working on that day because I want to work around 2 hours, knowing that they have 2 hours to go and offload. So within that period of offloading, their truck will be empty. So I don't want to book a load that their pickup time will be 4. But then something happened, they couldn't make up the pickup time, they couldn't deliver and have an empty trailer to go pick up the next load. Because that would create conflict. That is for me, that is how I look at it, and that's how I handle it, and it works for me. But you can also find your tune when you start working. You look at the situation and you make informed decisions how your days are going to be. But most of the times, anytime I have work Monday to Friday, the earliest I have closed is around 11 a.m. The latest has been around 2 p.m.
Okay, and I have another question.
Yeah.
So, if I may understand you well, you said you have been in this business for a year, right? Is it kind of an all-round business around the year, or is it kind of a seasonal something? Is there a peak period, or is just the same throughout the year?
That's a good
I
question.
mean, yeah, I mean, during the summer is the peak. And also between October to December is also the peak season because the snows will step in by January, February. January, February, March are your slower seasons. And those slower seasons, it's like you don't have a lot of these truck drivers working, okay? Because most of they don't want to drive in the snow. And I mean, that is the time that you don't have so many, most of your drivers wanting to go out. But those that want to drive, they make more money because the brokers add more money just to get their freight delivered. So it depends on the drivers that you have. Are they willing to work in those times? Me, most of my drivers, including my husband, will not drive to any snow-prone, areas. They will not, because it's a high risk. You can always, slide, and then
Yeah.
it becomes so difficult to control the truck. They can somersault, they can die, just like that. So most truck drivers don't do that. So your slower seasons, depending on your drivers, okay? But you have other drivers that their eyes, when they see money, nothing will stop them. They will drive.
Mhm.
Yeah, but for this business, it's all year. All year. But in between the years, they are slow, there are down times. It's not every time that there's the load, but let's say in a week, you may have a downtime of 1 or 2. You go to the load boards and you don't see any good loads there. You understand? Yeah.
So is it advisable to have 2 laptops?
Yes, I was using 3 laptops, including my phone.
Yeah, I remember you said something like, yeah.
I really broke one, so I'm left with 2 right now in my phone. The reason why, it's not compulsory. I don't want to say this is what you must have. No, 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 no. We have other people that are doing this business. There are times when I'm on the road, but I'm using my phone to make communications and to look on the load boards and everything. But then I use 2 laptops and extend my screen just because I want to be on top of my game. I really want to. Sometimes I don't have to go back, and I can just do everything at one time. That is why I do that. I have my email open up on one laptop, then I'm looking on the load board for another laptop. I'm using my phone also to capture and sending information to my brokers and drivers at the same time. Yeah, so it depends on what works for you. Especially when you are not a tech savvy, you don't have the skills to really be doing this. I'm not that type of a person, so I really wanna do the things.
Okay, I have one more question, please, if you don't mind.
Please, that's why I'm here.
Okay, so you made mention that some of your earliest hours that you close is 11 and the latest is like 2 p.m. So does it mean that when you close at this time, you are done for the entire day, or anything can still come up that it will need your attention?
Oh, when I have found loads for everybody there on their road going, my day is closed for me looking for loads or being on the load board. But then I am still available if they need my help when they call me for certain things. And I'm also doing
Okay.
a following up on them. But sometimes you
Okay.
can't move in, you are doing a following up. You can't
Okay.
be a follow up. It's just a call. Hey, how is it going? Is the road smooth? Are you in a traffic? Or would you be there? Will you make up your pickup time? Just a follow up.
Okay.
If they call you, must pick up just to be there to attend to them, or if there's any information they are looking for, you can assist them with that.
Mm. Thank you.
Welcome. Any other question? But all these things, you are doing it from the comfort of your home. So there is
Okay.
ability in
Yeah, that's really the the good part. It is really good that we are doing it at the comfort of your home, and you can have time with your children too. So
yeah. Yeah. And if you don't want to make this your sole job, you can't be doing that. That's why I'm looking for a scrum job, because I know I can do the scrum job and I can still do this. And I still bake my bread. I still do my pies. I do everything that I am already doing. So I mean, there's so much flexibility in this thing, and you are also making money at all times. So the reason why, I mean, just look at this scenario, okay? Let's assume you have just about, I always want to give an example so that you can know. Let's assume you have really been able to get about 3 or 4 or 5 drivers to join your company. One of them has a box truck, one of them have a flatbed, or you have two 53 feeter, and probably you have a power only, and you are able to find a load for any of them. And luckily you found a load that is 4,000 for one of your drivers. Like on a Monday, you are working for these 5 drivers. You found a load of $4,000 for your drivers. And let's assume you are charging like 5%. That is you making $200 within working for just about 10 minutes. Because finding a load, calling the broker and setting up all these things does not take 1 hour. 10 to 15 minutes, you are done with one driver. You go on to the next driver, you're able to find a load of probably like say 2,000. You are charging like 5%, it's $100. You've got in that one. You're able to find another load for your driver, 1,500. You are taking a load, you are taking your 60% or $70. So by the time you work for just about 200, 2 to 3 hours, if your $500 is what you want to make, you've made that $500 and you are good for the day. And let's assume that all these drivers are floating by Wednesday or by Friday. 3 days is maximum. Then all of them are bringing you income twice in a week. Your driver A is making you probably $400 a week. Driver B is making you $300 a week. Driver C is making you $250 a week. And all these 5 they are making. So you realize that a week, if the market was good, if the loads were very good, okay, you've made close to how much in a week? just sitting at the comfort of your home, working for 2 hours or 3 hours. Sometimes the whole week, if you put the hours that you have worked, it will not even be up to 10 hours in a whole week. Because when you find a load, it's just a call away. Hey, I have found this load. Do you want us to go ahead and book it? Oh, yes. Hey, broker, I've seen this load. I have a driver that is on standby. You run through and you say, hey, this load is going for 1,800. I know that's how much you posted it, but look at the market condition. We can do this load for you for 2,500. Will you be able to give us that much? Oh, 2,500 is too much. Oh, you talk. Okay. Let's find a common ground. We can do 2,250. Will you do that? Okay, fine. You give us the load. You call your driver, you sign the rate confirmation. The load is yours. How long did it take you to make that call and get that load? Less than 10 minutes. If you are not setting up a carrier packet that will take you 20 to 25 minutes, that is all you had to do. You call the load is available, you book it, your driver picks it up, you are gone. The only time that makes it hard is when there are no good loads and your drivers, the money that is there doesn't make sense. It's a bad load. They don't want it. Then you have to keep finding loads and finding loads and finding loads. But if you don't find any load for that day, it's not your fault. You just couldn't find load. You start again the next day. So there's no like anybody forcing you, restricting you, but you want to do your best. So that is where you also go the extra mile to even reach out to the brokers yourself to even see if they have any loads that they have not posted. But then it is where your driver is and you want them to do the loads. Yeah.
Okay. Let me reserve some of the questions for the next day.
Feel free to ask them. Any other questions? Does anybody have any clarification?
Which driver do you have?
You know, the trucking company is a multi-million company. There's a lot of money to be made. You don't want to limit yourself to just becoming a dispatcher. You want to have a vision that you want to have your own trucks as well. You want to have people driving for you, and you want to even scale up to become a broker yourself, to reach out to the shipping companies to get the loads. Sometimes these loads that the brokers are posting 2,500, they want to pay their driver. Sometimes they have gone to the shipping companies to charge 10,000 and they're only giving you 2,500. So if you can become a broker, you can do that. But then you have to understand, start from somewhere and build yourself to that point where you can also reach out to shipping companies and get the loads and come. If you have your own drivers, that is my vision. I want to go to these shipping companies, have my own drivers on point. I get the loads and I give to my own drivers. I circulate the money among my own self. Yes, so depending on what your vision and where you want to take this business to, and this is a business that you can do it at the comfort of your home, grow in the comfort of your home. And if you find that you have gotten so big, then you can just step outside to go rent a place where you want to use that as your official office or something. But then you can grow and do this from the comfort of your living room or your office in your house. Yeah.
Hello, Coach Sandra. When you check the load board and you have the available load and you quickly call your driver and he's on standby and you call the broker and you do the negotiation and okay, the broker agrees that okay, I'll do it and they send you the rate confirmation packet. That means that any dispatcher, since you're not the only dispatcher, any dispatcher that calls after you, the broker is not obligated to give them anything because they've already sealed the deal with you, correct?
Yeah, the moment they give you that rate confirmation, that load is off the board.
But okay.
Off the board. They can't give it to you and then come and say, no, we cancelled. No.
Yeah, because they got a better deal or something, they cannot do that. Okay.
They can never do that.
Okay.
The moment anybody else calls, that load is unavailable.
Okay.
But the only time they can give it to someone else is when you are just not being smart and fast enough. You called them, they told you this load is available. You hang the call on them. Now you are getting a hold of your driver, he's not available. By the time you get your driver and you get back to them, I'm sorry, this load has been given to someone else.
Yeah, so that's why it's better to deal with the driver first, get the driver on standby.
Pastor Ima, what I do is that I have the phone that I use, that is the landline at home. Then I have my cell phone. The landline is what I use for my business. So I call the broker on the landline. Then my driver that I spoke with, hey, I have seen this load. Do you want me to go ahead and book it? Yes, go ahead and book it. He's online, but I just mute my phone so that So he's online when I'm talking to the broker. So we will do 2,800, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I got the phone. So, okay, let me confirm with my broker, my driver, he's online, and let the broker know. So I don't put the broker on mute. I let him hear when I'm talking to my driver. Hey, they gave me this load, so we are on point. So I'm just working with the broker to get with the rate confirmation. So be on the lookout, on the standby. Okay, thank you for giving us this load. Let me send over the rate confirmation to my email. I'll sign it and forward it back to you. You are done. I don't want to take chances. No. I don't want to take chances because there are a lot of dispatching companies out there.
Right.
The broker picks your call or responds to your email. You don't want to joke with it.
Okay.
That's why you really want. Some brokers don't put their numbers there. They want you to communicate via email. If you send that information, they respond. You want to quickly respond back. You don't want to respond 10, 15 minutes later. No, somebody has stepped in.
Right.
Sometimes you can even negotiate for a good price, but because you weren't on top of your game, somebody called and said, hey, even if you give me 2,500, I'll take it. They'll just do that. But you want to engage them and make sure you seal the deal before you get off the call.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So Cassandra,
Yeah.
you earlier mentioned that the beginning is hard. Can you expatiate on that? Was it hard on the part of having more drivers, although you started with your husband, but what can you advise somebody that doesn't even know any driver, is starting from scratch? Is it the communication part or hard to get the drivers? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. The hard part is that you getting the drivers to join your company, that is the hard part. Because it's not automatic because you set up a dispatch and you call the driver one time, he wants to join because you called him. No, there are rejections here and there, a lot of rejections, but you have to persevere. If she's so much that you can do. And I was telling you that I had to go all the extra mile to go and set up a food stand at the truck stop and play music and be happy.
Wow.
I'm not even happy with the music I was playing. I have to be happy with my t-shirt, KBF Console Logistics, say we are here to serve you, and my slogan, we are here to serve you and serve you better, get you to the destination where you want to go. And at a point in time, I even had to pretend I was rapping and they were laughing. Like, these drivers would gather. And when they see a hot dog and band, they will come because they were going
It means I have to invite you to come and let's launch my ride.
I mean, that is one of
You actually launch your company?
what
I didn't really get what you lastly said.
I'm saying, like one of the strategies to get drivers to join your company. You want to go to where they are, meet them where they are, and you can do what will attract them. I use music and food to attract them, and sometimes too. Before I even did actually, somebody's idea that I stole from online, actually. But what I was doing, I would go to the truck stop and be putting my flyers on top of their truck, like under their windshield or whatever their wiper. Yeah, I will leave my flyers, I will leave my business cards, those kind of things, until I heard somebody that said online that they went there and they did a food stand. I say, hey, I can do this too. I can do this too. So I went to one of the truck stops and I did a full stand. And that is the
So
look.
as per the, can I go ahead?
Yeah.
As per the commission rate, the
You shared
percentage
food to
is
them? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, the commission rate.
Yeah, is there a regulation that you can't go below this percentage, or it is unique for any individual?
Oh, it is unique for you. It's up. I mean, the highest I've heard is 12% in the industry.
Okay.
But for me, I don't do that. I don't. I started with 6%.
Okay.
I started with 6% because even my husband has other dispatches. Some are taking 8%, 7%, 7.5, but I started with 6%.
Okay.
If you start them low, they wanna, when they hear 6% and somebody is charging them 7%, they wanna try you out. But when they come, give them the best service of their life. Let them know that you care for them beyond. You are interested in everything about them. You are interested in everything. You build a relationship. So, I mean, their paperwork, you are helping them with their paperwork. And one thing that I even go ahead and beyond and do is that at the end of the year, I mean, last year I did that for my husband, yeah, but this year I'll do it for my drivers too. At the end of the year, I'm trying to compile everybody's rate confirmation because they can use that to file their taxes without waiting for all the companies to send them their 1099. So you pack
Okay.
their rate confirmation and you send it to them via email, or you can scan it so they can have it and take it to their tax preparer to help them. This is extra mile. It's not something that I'm required to do, but I'm doing it for them anyways.
So you have a question on the chat.
The chat I do. Let me see here. 1, yeah, 2. Okay. What kind of paperwork do you help them with, please? The paperwork is like when you are setting up a career packet, okay, ideally you have to send the information to them to fill, but they are driving. They can't do it. But then when you are setting up agreement with them, some of the requirements that you have to use for them to sign for you, a notarized sign, power of attorney, that you can do all these things on their behalf. So that is what I'm talking about. Their paperwork, like the setting up the career packet, filling the rate confirmation for them, and also sometimes their bill of lading when they get it from the where they did the pickup and offloading, when they sign it and they don't have time to forward these things to their factoring companies, I get those in and just forward it to their factoring companies for them. I also help them compile it. Every bill of lading they send me, I put a copy in their folder that I have saved on my laptop. So that the paperwork you do for them is nothing. When it's a new company that you have never picked their load or you have never done any load with them, you want to set up a career packet. And the paperwork we are saying is even online. You just do and put in the information online and you just send it out to them. That's all. You do that on their behalf and you do that for them. That's it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sandra, I have a question with setup. Can you hear me? Sorry. When you're setting up this business and you're doing your business card, is it advisable once you have your LLC set up, because that's from the state perspective, to maybe use a PO box for your mailing address and use a different number as opposed to your personal number for specifically for the business, whether it's Google Voice or separate line or something like that, to separate your registered address versus your mailing address?
Yes, you can do that, and that is what we call the virtual address, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, you can do that. When you are setting up, you can use a virtual address on your complimentary cards that you want to give out. Absolutely.
Yeah, and the reason why I'm recommending that, asking that question, say for example, if you live in an apartment and you're using your apartment number, you have to move or something, it becomes very tedious changing addresses. Whereas if you have an address that's stagnant or virtual address, is consistent. You stay with the same address, even though your business address may move around.
That's correct, yes. So you want to get a virtual address and put that on there.
Yeah, thank you.
And also there's one thing that I also realized that if you want to set up that's the best route to go. That's the best route to go. Get a virtual address. That one is you move anywhere, everywhere with that same address. Yeah. Any questions before we go on?
No. Let's.
Okay. So let me see. I'm coming. So we are here, the truck dispatcher responsibility. Okay. Working as a tracking dispatcher.
Cassandra,
Yes.
yeah, sorry. So I have a little question, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as concerns the load board, right? As concerns the load board, I hear there's a lot of like different load boards. So do these different load boards give like different prices, or all load boards have the same prices?
No, all those boards don't have the same prices. Like something like the smart tracker, they are free. They don't charge anybody for using that one. When you get on the DAT load board, you have different prices for the DAT. DAT, you have the standard, we have the DAT power, then we have the DAT business. Depending on which one for the selected. Selected is almost like $600, $700 a month for using that load board. DAT, the basic, the one is 45. Then we have the DAT power, DAT one power, that is 180. Then we have the DAT business, that is 270 or 240, depending on what you want. There are others that charge very small, others are even free. But the free one is the bidding one. You have to bid for the load, which I don't have time for. So I don't use those. You have to bid for loads, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so whichever one, but then DAT, when you register with them, they give you 30-day free trial. And I leveraged that a lot. I didn't waste my 30-day trial. I made sure that my business was up and running. I had my business page. I had my Facebook business page running. I had my website running. I had done my marketing, trying to get 1 or 2 more people to join before I decided to use my 30-day free trial, because I wanted to make money and use that one to pay the $45 per month thing, because I used that to get me off the ground, because I didn't want to put in any more money than I had put in the registration until, yeah. So you can use that for your advantage, because I have my load. You can come on my load board. You can see me working. You can see everything on my load board, and you learn so much that you can learn. When it gets there, I'll show you. And so when you are ready, then you can just use the load, your 30-day to make a difference. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I haven't been so focused. I'm driving in that state. I'm driving to another state right now.
You'll be one of our loaders. This one you are driving and attending a class.
Yeah, that's why I haven't really been attentive, because it was just like something not really planned for. So I had to start driving to Tennessee. It's about 9 hours of text. And I need to be back tomorrow.
Drive
9 hours
safely.
driving. And I'm the one facilitating from tomorrow, the meeting tomorrow. I don't know. It's okay. Thank you, Cassandra.
You are welcome. So all these who's a good dispatcher, your responsibilities, I only highlighted the main 3 important ones. that I feel is what will make you stand out. I've already spoken about it at length. The type of communication can involve about traffic delays. You want to communicate that to your broker. If there's any vehicle breakdowns, you want to your drivers to take pictures as proof. You forward those pictures to your broker just to make sure that these things that are happening are beyond your control. A good dispatcher also want to make sure that, especially that we are entering into this winter season, you want to be, a weather forecaster at the same time. If you find a load to a particular destination, you want to go and look online. What is their weather going to be like? Is there any possible rain? You can deal with rain. Is there any possible ice falling, or is there any possible chance of snow? You want to communicate that to your driver. So even if you want to go to that particular state, you have to make sure that you are going in and out before those weather increments will ever set will come about or anything. You also want to make sure that you are on top of the fuel prices, because that will help you negotiate prices a lot, because you also want to know the mileage. What is the trip mile, the total trip mile? If they are going for 1,000 miles, you have to know, and you have to know how much it takes for your driver to fill their tank. You always want to say that when you are negotiating with facts and not assumptions. You are not assuming that, no, you are telling them that this is the price of the fuel. So you can't do this load for this. Looking at the mileage, who does that? How can you say you are paying me $1,000 for me driving 1,200 miles? That means we're paying less than $1 per mile. What if it cost me like $400, $500 to fill my tank? Am I running a charity here? We are not running a charity here, but we want to help each other make some form of money. You, the broker, you make yours. My driver will make his, and I will make mine. So you want to negotiate. So you want to really be on top. And also, if you are somebody who does not like listening to news, you want to listen to news a lot to know what is going on around you. A lot of times that will help you make informed decisions and negotiate better. And lastly, make sure that accuracy of completing, timesheet is when you have drivers, like you are a dispatcher, but you have your own company or you have a payroll. I don't have all these. So this timesheet will not work for me. But somebody like Coach Sabella, employer, you may want to stay on top of these things. When the driver came, pick up the truck, how many days, whatever it is, you want to take note of all that so that you can do the necessary important thing. Yeah, so that is all about who a good dispatcher is. These are your responsibilities. Now we're on module 3, and that is we going on the load board. And that is where we will pause today's lesson. And we will do that next week because I have to share my screen and show you the DAT board, how it looks like, how you define loads, and how you read the map and everything on the load board. Does anybody have any questions so far? Any understanding, any clarity that you want me to? Yeah. And
so far for me today, I've asked enough. More questions will come as we progress.
And the reason why I'm pushing this to next week is that we can't use like 8 minutes to. Don't want to rush anyone. I want
No.
time
No, don't rush, please. Don't rush.
ask questions, get clarity, the maneuvering, what to do on the load board, what not to do on the load board. I want us to go through that together. And that will take more than 8 minutes to do. So we push this to next week. Already.
Oh, that's good.
Already. So that brings us to the parking lot.
Tango is parking lot.
Yeah, the parking lot. Everybody bring your questions, anything that you want.
When you're a new dispatcher, how long will it take for you to have like a driver?
That one depends on you. How long do you want to start making money? It depends on you. If you don't procrastinate, if you don't belittle yourself, if you don't close your mind that you can do this, if you say that, hey, if I call a driver today and they reject me, the next person will accept me. So you keep pushing yourself until you get it. You will do everything.
The driver's numbers.
So how do you get the drivers? Like,
So like everything is in the pipeline. I have everything that I will show you to how we can get there, how we get their numbers, how you can go look up. I mean, I will show you, you will get there. It's very easy. Every information
Okay.
about the driver, their emails, their contact number, their business name, the kind of how many trucks they have. Yeah, I will show you. It's part of the study, and it's what I have said. I will help everybody. I might not help you make all your calls, but when you first start, I will start with you.
oh wow.
Yes, I will
So,
start.
Cassandra, a driver is limited to how many dispatchers? Do you know about that, or it doesn't matter?
That is up to them. But when they make you their dispatcher, you wanna really work for them. You wanna stand,
Good, yeah.
wanna build a
Okay.
that they will not even think about their dispatchers when they are looking for loads come to their mind first because of the relationship you have.
That's good. Mm.
I think another thing that will make them to stick is your reliability, because they don't want to rely on you, and then it's like at the last minute, maybe we can't get them a load, you know. So I think another thing should be like, if we all do this, then we need to learn how to be reliable. Just like Cassandra said, just stay on your game, and it depends how much you think you want to make. Because if that has to, because you know, this is building a business. Don't just see it as a distance business alone, or maybe it's just a small scale. Someday this can look at it from a larger scale. Even like Dr.
Right.
usually says, don't just look at Scrum as if it's just a job. Look at it as if it's a career. You can still look at this as a career. Tomorrow you can have your own job. You can expand the business.
No,
Yeah,
he's
it's a
driving.
career.
He's driving.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
no, I'm driving. Also, that's why my background is a little bit loud. Sorry about
No,
that.
thank you for that tips you have given. Thank you.
I have to have my own truck. I have to be a broker. So this is my career that I'm pursuing. Very soon I'll
Yes,
not be
Mama
working for
Beth.
somebody again.
Yes,
Wait,
Grandma.
let me put my camera on. Sorry.
Hey, is
I
that
know,
Grandma
Grandma.
Bella?
Grandma Beck, I
Camera
don't
on.
see you Scrum anymore. What's happening?
There, hey, 24/7. I'm there.
So, Cassandra,
Yeah.
how has this business stabilized you financially? Let me hear that, and then I'm done for today.
This
I
business is
mean, I mean, I mean, it is amazing. It is amazing. And one thing I will always say is that I can tell you something, and probably I may be lying to you. So I would just say, seeing is believing. Come in, experience for yourself, and come and share your testimony.
Amen. Thank you. I was just pulling your leg. Don't mind me with those.
Wait, there's money there. You're not seeing how Sandra is smiling. Just see the smile, Sandra. Say, come and
I
see.
know.
Come
Oh
and see
my
before you
God.
tell you.
Please, can you guys share like throw more lights on the virtual address thing when creating an LLC?
Pastor Amako, you have more idea about the virtual address, and Christabella, can you throw more light on that for us, please?
I'm sorry, what was that? I stepped away real quick. Nature called. What was
Can
the
you share
question?
more light on the virtual address?
At the virtual address, you can go to post office, UPS, and what have you. And you will use their address and you will say whatever address they have, Suite 101 for your PO box, for example. So instead of you using PO box 123, you can use either the UPS box or UPS does it, post office does it, and some other places will let you use their address. And for your own unique mailbox, they will just call it a suite number. If that makes sense.
No,
No,
I don't get to.
it's not clear. Maybe we
Okay,
understand you when we
so
get
like for the post office, you understand the concept of a PO box. If someone sent you a letter and your address is a PO box 123, it goes to a box somewhere, correct? Do you understand that concept?
Yeah.
Okay, so instead of saying PO box, it will say ABC Drive Suite 108, which is your PO box number. That's the virtual address. It doesn't use the word PO box. It uses the actual address where that PO box is located. So you get your mail, you get your packages and stuff like that delivered to that address instead of your home address. The reason why I recommend, especially when you're doing LLC, you'll have your home address, which you have to register with the state. That's where the business official address is. But for mailing and doing advertisements and things like that, you don't need to use your home address for that.
Okay.
Yeah, can I also come in?
Yes.
Yeah, so the virtual address is an address that is not a physical location that your business will be, but it will be associated with your business as if your business has a physical location, right? And the reason why you need a virtual address is that when you're dealing with the banks, sometimes they don't take you seriously when your home address is your official company address.
Oh.
They want to normally deal with companies that has a location like an office or a location where their business is being done from. So, so the virtual address is, there's a company called Regus or Regis or what it's REGUS, right? If you register with them, I think you pay like $40-something a month. So all your, how do you call it? Your communication, your email, your mails and everything goes to that location.
May go and pick it.
Say it again.
And I have to go and pick it there from them.
Yeah, because they have offices all over. So you pick the one that is closest to your residential area. Right? And for those companies, they also have physical address. So let's say you need to meet somebody to discuss a business transaction and you don't want to bring that person to your home. You can go there and rent a space just for that number of hours you're going to spend. And then you sit there, you wait for your client, you talk your business, and off you go. Right? So that is what the the virtual address is. So it serves as though that is your office.
So what if you move, like
if you move, you can transfer your address to wherever you're going. Regus is nationwide, everywhere in the United States.
Okay, so you need to transfer it to another Regus in the state or maybe the city that you move to.
Yeah, wherever is the same organization. So it's done
internally.
From, let's say, North Carolina to Texas, they will move your address from North Carolina to Texas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So wherever you move, you can move there. You can change your address to reflect the state where you are.
Well, let me ask you this one. So I cannot use my normal address. Let me say I'm living here in Maryland. This is my home that I'm living. So I cannot use this my home address. So that all my people come here.
You can use your home address, but normally when you are dealing with the banks, there are certain things they look at to see whether you are set up as a regular business or a setup, right? Because normally they don't want to deal with people who have their home address as their office, like the location. You can work from home, but on paper, it has to reflect as though you have an office space where you are operating from. Right?
Yes.
Address, because I don't have that one. I only use my home address for everything.
Belter, look at it this way. It's also security. I look at it from a security standpoint, right? You don't want everybody to be knocking on your door. Now they know where you live. So you should be able to separate your business from your personal life.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the advantage of you're using a virtual address because they don't have access to your direct home location.
Exactly, because if I look up your company online, all the information will show and your home address will also show. Right? Because you are using your home address as your office.
Okay. Question, Queen, I got a question though. So, for example, say, let me just say for the meantime, right? Maybe you use your home address to register the business. Is it possible you can then go back after a while to say, okay, you want to switch it to like give a different address? Is that even possible? Or once you use the address, that's it?
No, you can change your address anytime.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Another advantage to that, for example, my home address, we have like 3 companies registered, right, with the home address, but they all have their own virtual addresses. So when we get mail, we just go to the respective virtual address to pick up the mail. So if you're planning on expanding or having multiple businesses, you don't want all your businesses to have the same address.
Okay, so this is what I would do. I will look for information on this, official information on this, the pros and cons of using your home as your office and using the address for, transaction versus having a virtual address. I will look for it, and maybe next week I will let everybody have access to it, and then you can make a decision based on that.
Wonderful. Thank you, Lord Amoko.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you so much, Pastor Mo.
Like you.
Yeah. And this is our community of practice. We're gonna help each other succeed. So no problem.
That's why I tell them that this
We're making a difference, guys. We're making a difference. That's what matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are better things there too. Very soon, grandma will have his own company. Very soon, grandma will be self-employed.
Amen.
Very soon, grandma will be an employer.
Very soon, grandma will be president in America.
Grandma will have a private jet that will take us home for holidays.
Grandma. Isabella, you are the best. Thank you for that. I receive it.
In the name of Jesus.
I receive it, my dear. Do you know that financial freedom is the best thing? When you are self-employed, when you manage your time yourself and you manage your finance yourself, you know how to arrange it. Financial freedom is the best thing, though. Not that every day, grandma, up and down, running from head scatter to cash up with time to go and work somebody's money and they come and cut a little bit. Now, very soon that grandma will be determining how much to have every day. Janice,
most of the rich people in the world are business people.
Yes,
No,
especially in this America.
But that's true.
This business.
Do you know if your company where you work for or wherever you work for, by the time maybe they declare their profit for the year, And then when you look at what they are paying you, you just know you're working slavery. And, you know, it's like that for the most part. So the best thing that you can do is like, okay, if you can have your own little financial freedom, and you know that, all right, I made just this 90,000 a year, or maybe whatever you make from your own business, you will not feel as bad as though someone told you, okay, our company made over 125 million profit, but now you're looking at yourself making 40,000 out of that. That's, you feel cheated in every direction. You feel cheated. So for real.
More than cheap.
So, Cassandra, this question is for everybody. So when filing, okay, so if you own an LLC and say you're filing for your tax, the 1099, how do you get it? You go to wherever you're filing your tax and they give you the 1099?
Let me speak about that.
Okay, thank you.
During the tax season, whoever your tax preparer is, right? When you tell them that you are self-employed, they know which forms to use for you.
Okay.
You don't have to do anything. They themselves know that if you are self-employed, you don't use W-2, you use, 1099.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is what they're going to use for you. So depending on the nature of your business, they will be able to know how to go about filing your tax. That is why it is always good to get someone that is good in tax preparation. Because there are some people, they have a set, and you know, in America, the tax code changes almost every year or every administration. There are a lot of things that change, and most people don't upgrade their knowledge. What they used to prepare tax 4 years ago is the same thing they are doing now. And I'm saying that from experience. Somebody prepared my tax for me, and then it ended up that I have to pay the government $2,100. And then I went to somebody else the next year. You know, when you prepare your tax, you have 3 years to review your taxes. So when I went to another tax preparer, they reviewed the previous year tax, and rather the government paid me back over $2,000. So it is very, very important that you get somebody that is good and understand the tax system in America.
I'm telling you, you are right.
Using the current up-to-date filing, how do you even call it? You know, they update the filing is this software system almost every year, like you were saying?
Yeah.
No, I think it's yearly, because like yesterday, I was talking with one of these guys who usually prepare for my taxes, and then I think I was asking him like, okay, when are they starting? He told me no, the IRS is still preparing for, or maybe putting out data on how this year's filing has to go. So like maybe the way it was filed last year might not be the very way in which it's filed this year. They might change a few things about it. So when they change them, and then any of those people who is registered to like the filing and all that, then they send it to them, and that's when tax filing begins. Until that is out, there can be no filing. And like Coach Ben was saying, if you don't go to someone who actually knows how to prepare your taxes, you are going to pay back to the government every year. It happened to me one time. I paid back almost $3,000, and I was so pissed off when I wrote the check to send to the. I was twisting it, and the guy was like, "I don't care. You can twist it. All they want is that number on it. They don't care how they receive it." So, but for real, and people even made way more than me. The government paid them back, but because this guy didn't know what he was doing, I had to pay back. So that's another thing, especially when you're already running like a little your own business. You you have to know who prepares your taxes. And again, they need to know what they're doing, because if they don't do it right, you either have to pay back or the IRS might come after you, and that's not what you want.
And also, I just want to say this: you don't want to start up this business without having a business account. You want to have a business account away from your personal account, so that every money that they are paying you can go there, so that you can get your statements you can print out your statement for the year for your tax preparer. And also, since you'll be using that business account, I mean, what I do is, even if I buy any food for my children for McDonald's, I'm keeping the receipt, because I'm using my bank and my business account to buy those things. So that all expenses, even my internet, my light bill, this is what I used to do, my phone bill, everything that even my laptop, I have the receipt, I'll put it on there. Everything that you're using for you when you drive your car, you should go out, even the fuel that you are buying, keep everything and use that to prepare for it, so that you can put it on your tax when you're filing it. It will bring the impact down and you can have money being paid back to you.
Okay, thank you. So I have another question. So what if I am an employee and same time I own an LLC? How do I file my tax separately or?
Yeah, you want to file your taxes separately.
Mm-hmm.
You want to file your company tax and you want to file your personal tax. But normally it is very advisable that you file your company tax before you file for your personal one.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
But I think it has a time period in which you have to file for your company tax, right?
So as for us, this year we filed for KBF transport separately. Then my husband and I, we filed jointly separately as well. But we did the company filing first, then we did a personal one later.
Okay.
Already,
More questions, please.
Yeah, go on.
I don't have any questions. I see more questions from any other person.
And there's also one thing
keep some for next week. Yeah. Ask a question. No, I'm joking.
Just don't depend.
I know you're just joking.
This class, there are so many videos out there on YouTube that can really explain so much to you, and that can also, there are people's testimony in this business and all that. Listen to them to get some motivation. They really help. Yeah, it will really fuel your passion as well. So we'll meet again next week. We'll be doing the load board next week. So I want everybody to come with your pen and paper, write everything down, ask questions, because like you said, questions really bring you the answers and really help direct your path. So yeah.
I have one last question before we go, please. You mentioned something that when a driver goes to Florida, they pay so well, but when coming back, they pay like $1 per mile. So do they pay the drivers per mileage or how?
I mean, yes, on the load board, you see that for 1 mile is equals to certain amount. And by Florida, they have a flat rate. It doesn't change, it doesn't move. It depends. Sometimes there are some brokers that if their commodity is of higher priority, they may step up. But getting a load from Florida is kind of very difficult because they don't pay good. They don't pay good.
Okay.
And there are other states that are like that too. But the other states too, hey, they pay good. Like Texas, for instance, my goodness. Texas, that state pays so it pays so well. When you go to Maryland, it will be difficult to get any good load out of Maryland. And so when you get in this
so Texas pays so well. That's my state.
Texas pays so well.
Okay.
Going out in, even within Texas, they pay good. Not Dakota pays because no one wants to go there. And there's this place too that pays good, but drivers don't like going there, New York. The reason being that there are a lot of tolls on New York Road. The driver can spend almost close to $400 in tolls. That doesn't make sense. I don't like going to New York.
Lot of traffic.
Yeah. And their roads are very, very small. Sometimes turning, maneuvering is also a difficult thing in New York. They are too tight with their roads.
It's easy
But
to get tickets too.
what?
No, that it's easy to get tickets. Because another thing is, yeah. So
Yeah, and also this place too has a good New Mexico. When you go to New Mexico, a driver goes to New Mexico, definitely you get a load out. But the reason why they don't go is that their state patrol and the DOT in New Mexico, they don't joke. Oh, every point they will stop and inspect you. And when they inspect you, they will find a fault with your car or with your truck, with anything. So most drivers that have issues with their truck, they don't want to go to New Mexico. You can give them $10,000, they won't go to New Mexico. Because those state patrols, those DOT people, they are very strict there. They are very strict. Alrighty. With no more questions, yeah. We'll bring today's meeting to an end. Do I still have Pastor Emmanuel on the line? We are so blessed to have Pastor Syria, Pastor Sabella. She's not a pastor, she's a pastor for a point of correction.
No, Mama Pastor, oh, my sister. That's a Cameroonian thing.
I make that no, Mama Pastor.
Cameroonian thing.
Oh my goodness.
Cameroonians like to call me Mama Pastor.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cameroonians
when
like
you
to
are
do
married
that.
to a pastor, we call you Mama Pastor.
No,
Mama
no.
Gino, Mama
He's the
Gino.
one that you should be calling.
Mama Pastor, Mama Gio.
No, but you know, it's a common thing for us Cameroonians to be like, okay. Anyways, even with Nigerians too, let me say if you have like your first son to say Matthew, they will start calling you Pa Matthew. I think it's the same with Nigerians, right? I don't know, but they always wanna like call you either Mama Percy, Papa Percy, depending on whatever your first child's name is. So whatever name you give your first child, that automatically becomes your own name too.
I call it cultural clashes.
And guys, there's something that I want to say. Pastor Emmanuel, if you give me the chance, I will do that. Pastor Emmanuel is a renowned pastor. He's starting a new ministry down in Texas. So those of us that are in Texas, if you want to pay him a visit at his church, you are more than welcome. Pastor Emmanuel, I want to say something to that regard.
Which city is he in Texas?
All right, thank you. I'm in Forney. I'm in Forney between Mesquite and Terrell. Yeah, but we just started fellowship at the house, but then we are working on a location, but as time progresses, we'll make that available.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sister Sandra.
Do you have any online thing that if anybody wants to visit you online too?
Right now we are connected with our spiritual mom who we join online sometimes, but then we've not started our online yet.
Okay.
Yeah, but then it's in the works. Yeah, once all that happens, we'll make that information available.
So we are blessed on this platform. We have Coach Sabella, we have Pastor Emmanuel, Pastor Lord Marco. He's also a renowned pastor, very good at what is that, very knowledgeable. He's my teacher, my everything.
I'll have to contact Pastor Lord for those flyers, the website, and.
Oh yes, I forgot to mention that.
Same here.
No problem. Pastor Lord, are you there?
Pastor Lord, yeah.
Yes, I'll have to contact you for the flyers, the website, and setting
No problem.
concerning the LLC.
Yeah, Pastor Yama, we have to talk.
Yeah. I need a website like yesterday.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Pastor
I'll
Lord,
reach out.
you're in North Carolina.
No, he's in Texas.
I'm in
Oh,
Texas.
Pastor Lord is in Texas.
I'm in
Oh,
Texas.
really?
We have to talk.
OMG.
I was in Phony today.
Oh, you're
Wow.
in Texas, Pastor Lord. Which city, please?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pastor
He's
Lord
not.
is in Texas.
He's
Yeah,
not in
he's in
Houston.
Texas.
Every good thing is in Texas.
He's not in Houston. So stop fighting. He's not in Houston.
I'm not fighting. I just want to. I'm not fighting. I just.
You want everyone in Houston.
Pastor Lord, you are in Texas.
Yes, please.
All right, no problem. I will have to contact you for the flyers.
No problem. Anytime.
All right. Okay. We have so many people in Texas. So many. Sandra, we are waiting for you in Texas.
We are coming now. Our land is our one foot is already there. We just have to put the other foot. We'll be there, but at the appointed and the right time. Yeah, we will be there definitely.
Yeah.
All right, thank you all for coming. I will see you all next week. Within the week, if you need any help, you can reach out to me. Lord Amakon will be here to assist you. So have a very good evening. Pastor Emmanuel, please close this meeting with God for us with a short prayer.
All right. Heavenly Father, we thank you for our lives. We thank you for the life of our coach, Father, who you've given the wisdom, Father, to teach us. Father, we are grateful for her life. Bless her family. Do them good. Deliver them from every scheme of the fowler. Heavenly Father, we know the enemy is always scheming, but Lord, we pray that, Lord, oh, good people like her, Father, will be preserved. Heavenly Father, the Bible says you were a hedge of protection around Job and the enemy could not touch him. Father, I pray that, Lord, you be a hedge of protection around Sister Sandra and her family. Father, in the same way, I bring everyone under the sound of my voice, under the covenant of your blood. Father, let your blood speak for us, Father. In these months, ember months, Father, now, the last month of the year, December, the enemy is trying to destroy people, trying to sacrifice people. But we pray that, Lord, every one of us will be exempted, Father, from every scheme of the fowler. Preserve us and usher us into 2024. But we know 2024 has a lot of good things in store for us. Father, help us and do us good. Give us the wisdom, order our steps, direct our paths. Help us make the right decisions in life. Father, even as we leave here, Father, may you go before us and keep us, Father, until we meet again next week. I thank you that everything we learn here, Father, will put it to work, Father, that will become great employers and self-employed people. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Amen.
Hey, good
Thank
night.
you.
You are
Good
my
night.
inspiration, Miss Yvonne. You are my
Yeah.
inspiration. I thank God for your life. Thank you for sharing that inspirational testimony. You really made me think about the goodness of God.
Oh, yes, you're quite welcome. God is good.
All right, good night, everyone.
Okay, good night.
Good night.
Good night.